The home debut for Rutgers gymnastics. The Scarlet Knights take the floor for the first time in 2022. Fans in the stands for the first time in quite a long time. And we are excited to watch four really talented teams compete here in Piscataway. It's Rutgers, North Carolina, NC State, and New Hampshire. We welcome you to Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway alongside Crystal Chalet-Norton. I'm Dom Savino, and it's great to be with you on this Saturday afternoon. Great to have fans here with us and great to have some really talented gymnasts in the building as we get the season going in college gymnastics. 1 week in the books for most of these teams, one competition in the books, and that includes Rutgers, a team that has so much excitement behind it, coming off a record-setting season last year. And that's where we start, Crystal. Rutgers last year, 5th place at Big Ten champions, best in program history. And that success last season has heightened things even more. All the anticipation behind this team this year.
Yes, it is. And she's got a strong crew of girls that have experience, which is good. So she can rely on that. And again, what is nice is this is her 4th year here. So these are her athletes that she has recruited, which is good. So she knows what each of them have, and besides the fact that she could train more this time because of COVID last year, she could not.
Yeah, we're talking about the 4th-year head coach Umi Salim Beasley, who has done some really great things with this program so far and has some talented gymnasts. Hannah Joyner and Belle Huang, 2 of the 3 captains, both went to regionals last year, and well, she's hoping to take an even greater step up this year because Joyner is back as a junior after going to nationals last year. Huang is back as a graduate student using her 5th year of eligibility. Plus, you add a freshman class that was among the top 25 recruiting classes from last year.
Yes, and that's outstanding, outstanding. And it's a tribute to her good recruiting and her coaches that they go out and they'll get the best kids. But I think now that we are in the Big Ten and we have a great training facility, it's, now she's got a product that she can sell, like Penn State, like, Michigan. So that's what is good.
And Rutgers is excited today because they will get to compete at home in front of fans, home being Jersey Mike's Arena, for the first time in 707 days. February 8th, 2020, to find the last time Rutgers Gymnastics was in this building with fans in the stands. And women are excited to have some of family and friends in the seats today.
Yes, they are, because last season they couldn't come except for the senior where senior parents could come, which was nice. I'm glad they were able to do that. But this is great, so I'm glad everything was lifted and we're somewhat back to normal.
That's certainly true. Well, the 3 teams that will compete today, and we'll go in the order that they will start. NC State will open on bars. NC State has not competed yet this year. They had to pull out of a quad meet scheduled for last weekend at North Carolina because of COVID concerns, but a team last year that was the first in NCAA history to reach the regional final after starting regionals on day 1. The Wolfpack are the preseason favorite in the Eagle.
Yes, they're a very strong team. They've always been a very strong team, and very execution is excellent with them. So, and again, they have some great athletes as well.
Looking for their 4th consecutive regional berth, but most importantly, Kim Landrus' squad is happy to get the season started. Again, with COVID and the pandemic, everybody just grateful to be able to compete, and that's the story today for the Wolfpack. Next on beam, New Hampshire will start there. The Wildcats opened their season against Towson last Sunday. Lindsay got the coach there. Solid season last year for the Wildcats. They had 4 specialists qualify for NCAAs.
That's, again, a very strong program. Lindsay got it from Gail Goodspeed, who was there when I was coaching, and she kind of mentored her. She was on her team. She's one of her teams, so she knows the program. She understands what Gail had established, and she's kind of put in her new stuff, but she's kept it the same.
And then on floor, we'll see the Tar Heels start off. After week 1, North Carolina is the number 14 team in the country, according to their total score, and it was a program record team score in a UNC debut. It was a tri-meet against Auburn and Bowling Green, a 195-7. Dana Durante is the 1st-year head coach of the Tar Heels. You may remember her from her time at Georgia and all the success with the Bulldogs, but UNC has some really, really talented gymnasts this year.
Yes, they do. And again, Durante is an excellent coach as well, and to see her back in as a head coach is going to be great for this program. she's very down to earth and very, very fun person with her athletes. So it's going to be a great season for her, and I'm excited for her.
Yeah, the Tar Heels bring back gymnasts like Liz Colton, a first-team All-American, and add a really talented signing class led by Lali Dekanoidze, freshman who won the all-around title in that tri-meet last week in her debut, a 39.325 going all around. Not bad for your college opener.
No, not bad at all. But you're seeing that, more high-level gymnasts are going other places instead of just Utah, right? Because of the scholarship, and now you can earn money.
Right, yeah. NIL has changed the game for sure.
Right.
Well, we are just about set to go here in Piscataway. This is a Big Ten Plus broadcast. We're going to show you a lot of Rutgers. We're going to do our best to show you the other three teams. We'll get you scores as we're going on as well. Again, Rutgers is going to open up on vaults. We'll see NC State on bars. New Hampshire opens on beam. And North Carolina will be on floor. And for Rutgers, the vault lineup starts off with Bella Hughes, then Anna Pagliaro, a couple of freshmen right there. Mia Betancourt, then Belle Huang, Hannah Joyner, and Emily Lease will round out the lineup.
And in vaulting, they only have one vault, so it's one vault, and they have to make it. So it's a little bit more tense-oriented. But we've been doing this in college probably for like over 5, 6, 7 years. So most of the girls understand it because they're coming from an age group where they get 2 vaults.
And it's Isabella Hughes to start it off, the freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay, she did a Lutsenko full, which is a 995 start value. Very good. However, she did have the big hop, so that could be a 2/10 off the landing. And the judges are getting more tight on landings to differentiate between the good team, good gymnast, and one that doesn't. So there's going to be somebody that's going to stick it. So you have to show a differentiate from that. Again, very high, executed very well. It's just the big hop that's going to be something that's going to affect.
Hughes was part of the vault lineup last week for Rutgers at Florida. Earned a 9.775 there, so we'll see how that score compares to this one here to start off Rutgers.
But she had very nice height, so the only deduction she had was her hop. Because you want to see the twist finish in the air.
And once again, a 9.775 for Hughes. So she matches her career opening score with the same one, and a nice start for Rutgers. And now Anna Pagliaro, freshman from Freehold, New Jersey.
Again, she did a Lutsenko full. Now she had a little directional problem, which is going to be 1 to 2/10 plus the hop. And she didn't have as much height. And that's one of the things that the judges are looking for. How high are you? How clean do you finish your twist? And then how well your landings are.
Now here's a second look at Pagliaro, 2-time New Jersey state champion on vault.
Yeah, so she's going to get steps, could be 3 steps, and then she had a landing deduction to the side, which will affect it.
Waiting up next is Mia Betancourt. North Carolina just wrapped up on floor. It was Hannah Nam leading off the Tar Heels. And again, we'll get you some of the other scores and try to look at some other competitors as we go. And everybody taking a pause after their first gymnast went. Now here's Betancourt, senior from Reading, Pennsylvania. Exhibitioned at Florida on vault, and now in the lineup today.
All right, very clean vault, very high. Little bit of a step. And that's what you want to see. You want to see as close to a stick landing as you can. She's a powerful runner. She blocks well and opens up. That's should be a very good vault.
Yeah, just a little step with the left foot.
Right.
But aside from that, look good from Betancourt. By the way, for Anna Pagliaro, a 9.65. And for NC State, first score is in from their opener. Karina Jordan on bars earned a 9.75. And just wrapped up with number 2 there. That's Haley Merchant, who just completed. Amia Betancourt for Rutgers on vault 9.85. And now Belle Huang, the 5th-year graduate, back for one more year. Stick.
Very nice vault. Very stuck. She way above the horse, finished the twist, and then landed, and that's what the judge wants to see. So that's great.
And she earns the stick crown, too.
Again, it's very strong run, and that's what you need. Very good block. A little bit with their legs, but from a judge on the side, they're going to be hard to see that. It's great to see Belle back. She's very grounded. She's an excellent leader, and that's just what is going to make this program even, great this year.
And those are the leaders of Rutgers gymnastics right there. Huang back as a 5th year and imparting some words of wisdom for the junior Hannah Joyner, who earns the headlines and certainly deserves them.
Yes.
The 3rd Scarlet Knight in the program's history to compete at nationals when she qualified as an individual on beam back in the spring.
Right, that was exciting, because I had one at nationals as well.
And here comes Joyner, the junior.
Again, very nice high vault. It's just a little hop. She's a very strong gymnast when it comes to vaulting. And she's got great dynamics is what you want to see.
By the way, Belle Huang 9.85. Rutgers with some good scores so far.
Again, nice tight legs together, just that little hop. So, very nice vault. And this is really good because 4 or 5 years ago, they might have had one gymnast doing a Yurchenko full. Now she's got the whole lineup doing it, so which is outstanding.
Yeah, and we expect to see the anchor Emily Lease with the same vault that we saw in the opener at Florida, which is a Yurchenko 1.5.
And that's a 10, and that's very good. So.
And Joyner a 9.85. So Mia Betancourt, Belle Huang, and Hannah Joyner 3 straight 9.85s for Rutgers. And now Lease looking to cap things off. Again, should be Yurchenko 1.5. And it is.
Very nice vault. She just had to step forward and back, so they could take 2/10 if they wanted to, but that's a harder vault. And as a judge, sometimes you say, well, that's a harder vault, so not that you're going to temper it. You have to take the deductions, but you realize that it is a difficult vault. Very nice height and completed the twist.
We wait on Lisa's score, the sophomore. It's a 9.825. And so Rutgers nearly finds its first 49 of the season. It's a 48.975 for Rutgers, with Betancourt, Huang, and Joyner all leading the way with 9.85s. Nice start.
Nice start, very nice start. Because you want to be in the 49s and change if you're going to be up there in the 196s. We have an exhibition.
Now Rutgers will bring out some exhibition gymnasts now. We also get you some scores from around the rest of the rotation.
That was also another Yurchenko full. A little bit hiked down, not height.
But we take a look at bars. NC State wrapping up with its 4th gymnast. They've got 3 scores in already there. Karina Jordan a 9.75. Haley Merchant opens with a 9.7. And then Lex Ortega a 9.775. And so that should have been the freshman Lauren Rutherford, who they're very high on with the Wolfpack.
And she did have a very nice double leg dismount, very nice and high and straight. And that is an E element. When you see things on the vaulting, not vaulting, but floor, beam, and bars, there are certain skills they need to have in their routine, and their start value is a 9.4, so they have to come up with 0.6 to get to a 10.0 start value.
And this is Karen Ross wrapping things up for Rutgers. We saw Jaden Raby as an exhibition, and this should be Ross.
She's doing a souk half with a tuck, and that's a 10.0 vault, but it's very difficult. So she should have had a little bit more height, but again, it's a very difficult vault.
Well, let's see if we get the exhibition scores. Meanwhile, elsewhere on beam, New Hampshire has 2 scores in. Jenna DiVincenzo opened with a 9.15, and then Hannah Baddock a 9.75. Only 1 score in so far for UNC, for the Tar Heels. Hannah Nam had a slip on one of her passes, and so an 8-9 to start. Wildcats competing there. It's always controlled chaos when you're watching a quad meet. Where do you want to look as you see the New Hampshire gymnast fall off the beam?
On bars, she did a full in, and that's another very hard skill to do. That's an E. And if you've noticed when you're watching gymnastics, if they're doing a hard skill like that, they can do 2 giants before. If they're just doing a double back, they can only do 1 giant. So the college coaches have changed their rules to make it a little harder for the college. We do follow, in modification, the USAG rules. However, we have our own rules modifications that we change and help because we have older bodies. We want to keep them healthy.
Right.
And it's funny because USA Gymnastics is now following our path. They're taking some of the things that the college has come up with and have implemented it.
We'll wait for some New Hampshire scores. NC State just earned a 9.825 from Emily Shepard, their 4-time first-team All-Eagle honoree. That should be Bree Greenlow on floor for UNC, and now we take a look at bars. Again, you see the controlled chaos, but we love it. You come to a meet like this, and you're going to see a lot of great gymnastics at once.
That was a major release that she needs, which is a D. And you have to go to handstand. They want to see handstands.
And this is Meredith Robinson, a first-team All-Eagle honoree on bars last year.
Now that combination, she did a giant full into a double tuck, so she's going to get some bonus combination connected value plus the D, so very good.
So NC State, a 9.8, a 9.825. Everybody so far, all 5 who have gone for the Wolfpack, at least a 9.7, so they should have a solid score for their first rotation. Just saw Bree Greenlow wrap up on floor for North Carolina. Mentioned the Hannah Nam 8.9. After her, a 9.425 for Jay Weil. And then Peyton Childs, an exhibition gymnast, waiting to get going for NC State. Again, if you're just joining us, Rutgers already done. Of course, they open on vault as the home team and earned a, well, they updated it actually. I had the wrong score initially once they added Lisa's score in. A 49.15 for Rutgers.
Excellent start on vault.
Yeah, so Rutgers earns its first 49 on an event this season.
That's excellent. And I think it's important because she has the depth now with the large team that she has. They push each other. If you want to make the lineup, you're going to have to work hard in practice, which is good. On beam, she did her series. You need to have a series. And if they do a layout, it is a D. An age group, it's a C, but the college coaches, again, raised it to a D. You have to have a leap combination, which she did. And as I said before, the routines start at a 9.4, and then they have to add difficulty to get that to a 10.0 start value, which everybody knows.
And a stick dismount, too, for Alyssa Worthington, the junior from New Hampshire.
Yes, she's got the hat. And she did a side aerial into a full. and it's very easy to stick. You're going to see some other gymnasts do a round off double back, which is much harder. Okay, but if you do that, you're going to get an extra bonus point for doing that, because that you're going harder than just what a full is. So, but if you do the side aerial to the full, then you get that counts as she's doing right now. That counts as your dismount. It fulfills it. But then you're going to see somebody do a round off double back, and that is much more risky.
Oh, wait on that score for Worthington. Meanwhile, on floor, it's the star freshman Lali Dekanoidze competing right now for North Carolina. The Eagle Gymnast of the Week after week 1. Just wrapped up her first pass, double tuck.
And again, that is a D on floor. She just did her dance combo that is required. And usually the dance combo does have bonus connection in it, or connection value as it's called. Now that was a 2.5, which is a D, and it's harder to land because it's a blind landing. And that's her double salto pass, last pass, which is again connective value and fulfills her her ending pass.
And by the way, just to give some context to the great analysis from Crystal Chalet-Norton, you're getting that from the NCAA rules interpreter, the current NCAA rules interpreter. So nobody better. You're the person that the coaches go to when they have the questions.
Yes, they do. And it's once I retired, they started in this NC2A rules interpreter, and so they had certain criteria to fill, and you had to have been a coach. You can't be coaching, and you have to be a brevet judge or national, which all I fit. So everybody from Michigan's coach, everybody said, Crystal, you got to apply for this. So I work for the NC2A, but if they have a question, they call me, and I will interpret it for them. And NC2A has this for all the sports, and they finally got around to giving it to women's gymnastics, and now men's have it as well.
This is Haley Louie, New Hampshire senior, following a great score for Alyssa Worthington. Career high, in fact, 9.925 on that last beam routine that we saw. And now the dismount.
Okay, that is very nice. She had a little step to the side, but again, it was a C dismount. And again, it's tricky. But you're doing a 1.5 twist, so you're landing, it's a blind landing.
You see Rutgers has the crown. New Hampshire has the cowboy hat.
It's just part of motivation for the girls.
Right. And now on floor, it's another one of the big names from North Carolina, Elizabeth Colton, a first-team All-American last year, going in the 5 spot after Lali Dekanoidze earned a 9.65. How about the height on that first pass?
Very nice, and very nice open on the double back. In tuck position. That's a front leg to a front full. Again, a bonus connective value. You'll see most of the gymnasts will do either a D or a connective value in each of their passes.
And one more pass here for Colton. Looking to give North Carolina a big score in this first rotation.
Oh, that will hurt. She was supposed to do something out of that front layout. So she doesn't have a C in her last pass. So her start value will be lower. So she will not be able to get a 10-0.
It looks like she wanted to connect that with something to finish.
Yes, she did, right. But she landed it and could not connect it.
We go to Kylie Gorgani on beam for New Hampshire to wrap it up. Haley Louie got a 9-8. I'm out there from Gorgani I've never seen before. She went basically upside down to land on the beam. And just holds on to that.
Right, that's a good 2/10 bobble out of her layout. But it is a series, so she gets credit for it.
Gorgani went all around in the opener against Towson. And beam was her best score, 9.85.
Her side aerials is a D as well. A little bit of a balance error.
She looked like she was fighting that routine the whole time.
Right, and it's hard when you start on beam because you're ready to go. And it's great when you can start on vaulting or floor because you can let your energy down, but on beam you've got to really calm your nerves and, you know, control your movements, which is hard. And that's a gainer, tough pike, and it's a C dismount.
A nice bounce back to stick it.
Right, very good.
Oh, wait on the score from Gorgani. The one thing I'll say, too, we talked a lot about how this is Rutgers' home debut. For NC State, again, this is their season opener after having to pull out of the first meet last weekend. For North Carolina and for New Hampshire, they opened last weekend, but this is their first road meet, so nerves across the board for these teams.
Right, exactly. And then when you're on the road, it's a new environment, you have to adjust, new equipment. So it is a big, and this arena's big, so I mean, it's not like Florida, which is packed.
Right.
But it is, you know, it's a big arena type of thing, and New Hampshire has a big arena as well. But they train, when they compete, they're in a smaller arena.
Gorgani is the anchor for New Hampshire on beam. We'll get you all of their scores. First, let's watch the anchor for UNC on floor. This is Julia Noer, another member of that talented Tar Heel freshman class.
Very nice double pike. Solid landing and nice height.
Second pass here.
Front full to a front lay, very nice. Front full is a C and front lay is a B, so that gives her a connection value. She's very clean.
And somebody that her head coach Dana Durante called a sleeper candidate of sorts. Good coming in and has gotten even better in the offseason.
Well, sometimes it's you know, you recruit a girl from age group, and once they get to college, they see how much fun it is. I mean, it's fun in age group, but it's more you're competing for yourself. Now you're competing for a team. Okay, she ended up with a double tuck, which is very good. She had a slight landing deduction in height, but she'll get an extra 10th for ending with a D, plus the D. And again, the coaches put that in their rules modifications so that more people that are doing that, they're risking it more than doing something easier. They should be awarded.
Now we'll wait on Noer's score to wrap things up for North Carolina. Let's get you some of the other ones. We saw a lot of New Hampshire on beam. New Hampshire closes the first rotation with a 47.375. DiVincenzo a 9.15. Baddock a 9.75. Simpkins an 8.75. Worthington had the best score, I believe, of every gymnast. Yes, the best score in that first rotation across the board. Alyssa Worthington a 9.925. Hannah Louie a 9.8, and then Kylie Gorgani with an 8.625. So New Hampshire unfortunately had to count a fall on that first rotation. This is an exhibition gymnast here. For North Carolina, UNC on floor, Hannah Nam opened with an 8.9. Then Jay Weil a 9.425. Bree Greenlow solid score at a 9.775. That right now is the leader for the Tar Heels. Lolly Dekanoidze a 9.65. Liz Colton a 9.15, and waiting on Julia Noer's score in that anchor position.
You'll see that the coaches will put in exhibitions because that's their 7th and 8th team member, and they want to see how they will compete under pressure. And you're allowed to put in 2 exhibitions per team. And then during the beginning of the season, you'll see a lot more exhibitions in, just so they can get a feel for who's going to hit, and who's not going to hit.
That was Gianna Graver competing there for New Hampshire, that is. For NC State, all the scores in as well on beam, where they earned a 48.85 as a group. Karina Jordan a 9.75, Haley Merchant a 9.7, Lex Ortega a 9.775. Top 2 scores for NC State came from Lauren Rutherford a 9.8, and then Emily Shepard a 9.825, and the anchor Meredith Robinson a 9.65. This is Shaylin St. Bryce for the Tar Heels as the exhibition here on floor. So it looks like all the scores are in, that's true. For UNC on floor, they get their top score from Julia Noworth, the routine we just saw. She gets a 9.8, an improvement of her floor score from the opener. But after this first rotation, Rutgers will be in the lead.
That's outstanding, yes.
With a 49.15.
She's really improved on vaulting, and she's gotten some really good vaulters in there. And that was one thing that she knew she had to work on.
Yeah, Rutgers boosted with 3 straight 9.85s in the middle of their vault lineup from Mia Betancourt, Belle Huang, and Hannah Joyner. As Shaylin St. Bryce wraps up her exhibition run for UNC on floor. Well, for a Rutgers team that is looking to build off of the 192.075 team score it had at Florida. Big environment, one that Umi Salim Beasley acknowledged they won't face the rest of the year with all of the fans and the big buildings and the world champions they competed against. After that, Rutgers wanted to take a step up, and well, so far so good.
It is, and it's much better when you're at home. You get to sleep in your own bed,
right?
You know, and and they've been now in the rack, or the Jersey Mike's arena. I'm old school.
Right. Okay.
I retired in 2011, so I've only known it as the rack. But so they're at their own environment, and they've been here now going on, like you said, many years. And the only time I was in here was when we hosted the Eagle, which was back in the 90s. Now that connection on beam was a cat leap side area would have been nice. Would have been an A to the D, which would have given her a connective value of 1/10 plus the D. The full turn, which must be in the routine, and sometimes that can be the nemesis. That jump was a sheep jump, which was very difficult. Again, a round-off 1.5. C dismount with a hop.
And those couple of exhibition runs should wrap things up for rotation number 1 across the board. Yep, everybody will move on to rotation number 2, but after the first quarter of things here at Rutgers, it's the home team with the advantage. Scarlet Knights earn a 49.15 on vault, and with a clubhouse leader after 1 here on Big Ten Plus. starting the second rotation in a Rutgers quad meet here in Piscataway. Rutgers, NC State, New Hampshire, and North Carolina. And after the first rotation, Scarlet Knights have the advantage with that solid 49-1-5 on vaults. With Crystal Chalet-Norton, I'm Dom Savino. Let's take you back through some of those Rutgers vaults. Mentioned that 3 consecutive gymnasts there for Rutgers earned some big scores. 9.85s from Belle Huang, Hannah Joyner, and Emily and Mia Betancourt to really key things here.
Very nice vaults. They had great vaults, great height, great landings, and Belle had an outstanding landing, which you want to see. Nice stick, which is what you aim for. So very strong, and that's what they need if they're going to get into the 196s.
And it's Rutgers' first 49 plus of the season on any single apparatus here in meet number 2, and Emily Lease with the anchor, Yurchenko 1.5.
And that's a very hard vault to do because it's a blind landing, and again, she did an excellent job with it. A little bit of step on the end, but again, strong vaulters.
So Rutgers will head over to the uneven bars, and we'll see NC State go to beam. New Hampshire goes to floor, and UNC, North Carolina, will go to vault. For Rutgers here on bars, the lineup is Kayla Newman, Maya Jones, Myra Daniels, Elia Aird. We'll see her debut. A talented freshman Rutgers is high on. Avery Balzer and Hannah Joyner is in that 6th and final spot. And one more rallying message here from Umi Salim Beasley, who wanted to see her team, of course you want to hit 24 for 24, but wanted to see her team focus a little bit more. She said with the environment they were in at Florida, it was, and the nerves of a first meet and having so many young gymnasts on this Rutgers team, a lot of those nerves were there, and she wants to see them control them a little bit better. And, well, the scores, I think, certainly tell you what they've done.
Yeah, and even though she was in a big facility like that, it's good for them to learn.
Right.
So it's a learning experience as well for them. You know, that was how it was with me as well. When you went to a big like Penn State and you had all those stands, you know, it was good for them to get the feel of a big-time gym and everything. So it helps them down the line going further.
Just about set to go. And there is Kayla Newman, the sophomore who went all around often for Rutgers last year, and in the opener competed on bars, beam, and floor, and got to go back to her home state of Florida. She's from Jacksonville, and Gainesville not all that far away from there. And again, as we did on that first rotation, we'll show you as much of the other routines as we can. We'll get you the scores too. But Newman starts things off for Rutgers.
Nice handstand. Her release move, which is a D. A little short on that handstand. She fell out of that. That's going to be an extra swing, and they could take a fall for that on the bars. So that will affect her score and whether or not she has all the elements that she needs to receive a 10-0 start value. Plus, the other thing that the coaches have put in is called up to the level. They have to have certain things in there to fulfill an up to the level for the routine. If they don't, they're going to get a 10th off. So there's certain ones on each event that they need. Very nice dismount, though. She finished it. She recovered. Sometimes a gymnast will not recover and can make it even worse, but she held it together. Because you want to not upset the next athlete in line. Right,
and you hear this so often from coaches. You don't know if your score is going to have to count. So if you get out of sync in your beam or bars or floor routine,
right,
got to keep on going.
Right, now get whatever you can out of that routine because you might be using it, and 100% correct.
Now, first score is in for the second rotation. It's from North Carolina, Emery Summy on vault, a 9.725. Corey Shinohara just went for the Tar Heels as well. And waiting on the opening scores from New Hampshire and NC State. NC State had Gabby Diaz on beam start them off, and then New Hampshire opened with Larissa Biette on floor. And a final couple of words of encouragement from Umi Salim Beasley to Maya Jones, freshman from McKinney, Texas, who earned an 8.65 in her debut on bars last week and is trying to build on that. And you can see the emphasis on breathing, slowing the breathing down.
And concentrating, and take one move at a time. Do not jump ahead. And they have to wait for the judges.
That's the other thing, yes, is we see Jones wait for Newman's score, icing the gymnast a little bit, waiting for Newman's score.
Well, that, as a judge, that routine was a little challenging.
Right.
And you want to get it right. You know, you want to make sure you have the right start value. You want to like this, you know, so as I call it, you really have to work at it.
This is Kaylin Fulland on beam for NC State. She's in their number 2 spot after Gabby Diaz earned a 9.7 to start things off for the Wolfpack. Again, NC State, this is their first meet of the season. Lots of expectations for the preseason favorites in the Eagle, but didn't get to open at that UNC quad meet because of COVID. Now we go back to Jones as she starts her routine on bars.
She just did a hop in, which is a C, to her dismount, which gives her a connected value of a C to D. She saved that. A little bit with the legs, so it's going to be a deduction.
And gearing up for the dismount.
Okay, very nice dismount. A little bit close to the bar. And she was very, you can tell the strength because she was able to save that bar routine in the middle where she could have gone off. I mean, she did have a large leg separation that they will take.
Right there.
Right there, yes. But she saved it. That means she's strong. And she was able to go back to that overshoot to handstand, which is a D. So. Again, nice fight, nice fight. And I think that's what Umi wants as her bar squad.
Well, Kayla Newman earned an 8.875. And now we wait on Jones' score.
I'm sure she's not happy, but, you know, at least she saved it.
Meanwhile, North Carolina mostly done with its vault rotation. Mentioned the 9.725 for Sumi. Corey Shinohara 9.775. Then the season debut for Kate Green, a 9.65. Another good routine for Julia Nowhere, a 9.825 on vault, and we just saw Lolly Dekanoidze go. And so this is Jay Weil waiting to wrap things up. And Dekanoidze a 9.9 on vault. Our highest vault score so far today, and an improvement on her vaults from the debut at Auburn. Now we'll get to see Weil go here.
That's a front handspring, front pike, and you don't see a lot of those. That's a 9.9. It's a nice vault. Okay, and it's hard to do. And from a judging point of view, we'd like to see different vaults. So that was a good one.
There is Myra Daniels, Rutgers sophomore. And she's the third Scarlet Knight on bars.
That was a D to D combination. Now comes one of her release moves, which is a hecht. Very nice, nice and high. And a double leg dismount and a stick, very nice. Little bit of leg separation, but overall a very strong bar routine.
That looked like the strongest yet for Rutgers in this rotation. Following up Maya Jones 9.55. We'll see what Myra Daniels gets.
Again, very nice handstand here. Very nice giant full. And she goes right into a half turn over to a handstand, which is a D. Then her double layout was beautiful, nice and high. So this should be a very good score.
Meanwhile, we saw Jay Weil for North Carolina in the anchor spot, a 9.75 to close things out for the Tar Heels, who wrap up vault with a 48.975. Next up for Rutgers in the fourth spot, it is one of Rutgers' 2 Big Ten gymnasts to watch entering this season, and now making her college debut, Elia Aird. Very talented gymnast out of the state of Florida, former JO national qualifier. Ranked as one of the top gymnasts in her signing class last year. Now there's a reason why she was named a Big Ten gymnast to watch. Again, Rutgers only gets 2. The other one was Hannah Joyner. Didn't compete against Florida. Rutgers is sort of slowing her collegiate start, had an injury back in the summer that required shin surgery. The much anticipated debut for Aird.
She's a very strong gymnast, so we should see an outstanding routine. Huge pike Jaeger. It's an E, very good. Flare hip to hand, a little short, but there went to a D. A little short on her handstand, but overall, if she sticks this dismount. Oh. Okay, very nice high in the dismount. She just hiked it down. So that's a 5/10 fall, and she won't get credit for that E dismount, so she most likely will not have a 10.0 start value.
I tried to get all the way around on the double layout and couldn't. So we'll wait on the score for Aird.
Well, she most likely will not have a 10.0 start value because she needed that E for the 2/10 for the E. And when you fall, you don't get she gets the dismount requirement, but she does not get the credit for the E, which is a 2/10. And the fall is 5/10.
You can see a little frustration from Elia Aird. And again, I'll go back to something we've talked a lot about already, the nerves for the freshmen making their debut. Some teams on the road for the first time. For Aird, this is her first routine as a college gymnast.
Right, and it, she has to get used to it. It's one thing to be in the gym, and I was in and helped judge their inner squad. It's one thing to be in the gym and not the fans, and now right in front of everybody,
Yeah, to have friends and family in the seats, and who texts you, I'm coming, I'll be there.
Yes, exactly. Again, freshmen, you're going to have to go with the freshmen. They're going to be your future.
Yeah, nice crowd on hand here at Jersey Mike's Arena. Avery Balzer is up next for Rutgers. Aired a 9.15 on that routine.
Nice Jaeger, very clean. It's pack salto, also very clean. It's a D element. That's all she has left is her dismount. Nice stuck landing, beautiful hike on a dismount. They want to see the second salto land above the high bar, which she did as a judge. That should be a very, very nice score.
We saw a lot of Avery Balzer last year as a freshman. Bars was her top event score-wise, and she can look forward to a solid score here.
Right, she can. Very nice. Her second salto was finished above the high bar, which is what every coach loves.
So she earns the crown. Now North Carolina's wrapped up on vaults. New Hampshire waiting to go on floor. And NC State going now on beam with Alexis Ortega. And you caught the end of that run right there. So far for the Wolfpack, a 9-7 for Gabby Diaz, a 9-6-5 for Kaylin Fullen, and a 9-2 from Madison Benson. Now Rutgers waiting. No, we get the score from Balzer, a 9-7-5. Rutgers' best score yet here on bars, and looking for a strong performance from Hannah Joyner to wrap things up.
And she's a very strong bar worker, so if she hits, this is going to be a very good score as well. Her Jaeger, very nice combination. Overshoot to handstand, again, excellent. Now all that's left is her dismount. Little short on the handstand. Full and back out with the fall, which is gonna, again, she won't get the E, so that hurts. So they're ended up going to have to count 2 falls and lack of bonus. So
you see New Hampshire is on floor right now. This is Gracie Mowers going. We'll get you that Joyner score for Rutgers on bars. For New Hampshire on floor, 9-7-2-5s from Larissa Biet and Ali Kusic. And then a 9-7-5 from Kennedy Brown in her season debut. So a couple of 9-7 pluses, and we'll see what Mowers can do, the freshman.
Nice double pike, just had to open it up a little bit. And again, very hard skill.
Great blend of music.
Yes.
In this soundtrack too. We get Teach Me How to Dougie, Soldier Boy.
Very nice.
And the chicken dance to start it off too.
College gymnasts get really creative with their music. Very good. Very nice pass. It was a hard pass, so she'll get another 10th for that, even though she had a little bobble, so that's going to make up for that.
That's the very tail end of Emily Shepard's beam run. Before her, Lex Ortega, 9-7-2-5.
We have an exhibition on bars for Rutgers. Nice pike Jaeger. Overshoot to handstand, which is a good go to a D. Nice handstands. Nice dismount. It's going to be a very good routine.
And that from Maya Pringle, another one of the Rutgers freshmen. She's from Orlando. Rutgers slated to have 2 exhibitions on bars, with Brayden Batavio set to follow up Pringle, another freshman.
Well, she had a 10-0 start value, and she had very few execution errors, and that's why you have exhibitions, so you can look and see how well they will handle pressure.
It's a 9-8-5 for New Hampshire's Gracie Mowers, combining 3 good passes and 1 great soundtrack. And now Haley Louie up in the 5th spot, with Alyssa Worthington due up in the anchor position.
That skill is very hard to do. It's a double front, but she made it, but had a little bit of step, which is going to affect it.
Now there is Batavio for Rutgers.
That's just Shabashnikova into a pack, which is very difficult combination. Very good. Very well done. Little short on her handstand. Double lay. Okay. And a fall on the dismount, but otherwise very strong routine. I think Umi has some strong bar workers, having judged them, okay, this in December. So I think they've got to get their jitters out and get a little bit more consistent. But when you have a young team, it's the growing pains, as I used to tell my girls.
Yeah, this is just meet 2 for Rutgers. North Carolina State on beam. Nicole Webb, the anchor, after Emily Shepard earned a 9.875, the best score of the rotation for the Wolfpack.
She had a very beautiful switch leg leap, which is a C. Front aerial D. Again, a blind landing, hard to do.
Another sheep jump.
Yes, very pretty. And it's a dance combination.
As you mentioned earlier, among the tougher jumps.
Right, yes it is, because you have to really release the head as the legs are coming up in the back. Now that's a round off double full, which is a C. However, because she did it, she's going to get a 10. Because again, the college coaches, you don't see that. You know, they go to the easy stick dismount. So if you do side aerial full, you can stick that really easy. This one's a little bit harder, so they wanted to see more people do different dismounts. So that's why they said, okay, you do a double full off, you're going to get a 10th for doing that. So that's why they're getting more.
Webb, the grad student and a former second-team All-Eagle honoree on beam, should be in for another good score for NC State to close things out. They had that 9.2 on beam from Denson, and they should be able to drop that.
Yes. So.
And now on floor, it's Haley Louie, senior from New Hampshire. Oh, pardon me, this should be Alyssa Worthington closing things out.
Okay.
We saw Louie.
That was a Rudy into a split jump, the D. Again, they're looking for bonus in their dance, which she had there. Now you have to show forward and backward tumbling and sideward. So her first pass was a forward. And I noticed that she did that just like a cartwheel back layout, and that could be her back pass. Because there's some gymnasts that are just very good at front tumbling. So as a coach, you have to be creative on how to put the backward element in. That's another forward pass, but very nice. A little bit of execution. But again, this is the beginning of the season. There's just...
Alyssa Worthington has the high score of the day so far, a 9.925 on beam. And looking for a second consecutive high-scoring performance.
She just did a front tuck to a back handspring, which is a very difficult connection to make.
Brooke Smead, a freshman, as the exhibition, waiting on the score from their anchor, Nicole Webb.
There's a leap series combination, very, very nice. Nice split jump half.
For Smead, her college debut didn't have an opener for NC State last week, so this is their opener.
Okay, yes, and I think they're doing very well. Okay, double pike, a little bit of short, needs to open.
And Sierra Bauman in the exhibition spot now for New Hampshire. Before her, Alyssa Worthington, a 9.75. Still waiting on the score from Haley Louie.
Second double back, which is very difficult. That's a little bit on the landing.
Last pass here for Bauman.
1.5 to a front tuck, which is a connective value bonus.
And that should close things out for this second rotation. By the way, Louis' score is in 9.625. So that'll update everything, and all the score is in from our second rotation. And it's now NC State in their debut, who is in first place at the halfway point. A 97.6 on the team score after the Wolfpack earn a 48.75 on beam.
Okay.
And maybe one more exhibition on floor for New Hampshire. And the gymnast waiting to go. One of the cool things about this, and I know this is neat for you, Crystal, somebody who coached at Rutgers for 25 years and was part of the founding of Eagle. This is sort of like an old Eagle meet.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And even though they're all new coaches,
right?
But it is. And like I said, we were talking about when we went into the Big East. Big East did not have gymnastics, so the Atlantic Conference, we had to be kicked out. So Linda Burdett, myself, and Debbie from Pittsburgh, we decided to start this league, and it really has grown since it's began.
Yeah, go back to 1996. Rutgers, New Hampshire, North Carolina, NC State, all founding members of the Eagle.
Right.
Now Rutgers, of course, now competing in the Big Ten, and North Carolina and NC State will be moving to the ACC in 2 years with Pitt, because Clemson is adding a gymnastics team, so that'll be the fourth one, and the ACC will start sponsoring a gymnastics championship.
And that is outstanding. And we had, besides Clemson, we had another Division III school add the program, and we just had Long Island add. So we've added in the last 4 years 3 schools, which is unheard of. Before it was cutting them, but now they've been adding, which is really nice. In fact, there was even a men's team added at Springfield College. It's a small college, so it's really great. And that was the addition of the men's team was the help with the USA Gymnastics, because there's no place for men to train, and all the men train for the Olympics at college.
Watching an exhibition gymnast for New Hampshire perform here. We only had one listed as an exhibition. We already saw her go. So the Wildcats get one more go, and that should close up this second rotation. Take a look at the scores at the halfway point. NC State, North Carolina with some good scores. Rutgers with the highest scoring rotation so far, highest scoring event, that 49-1-5 on vault. And they'll try to bounce back on what has traditionally been their strongest event in recent years in beam. So that's coming up next. We'll take a break. Rotation 3 is up next on Big Ten Plus. Getting ready to start rotation number 3 here at Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights hosting a quad meet with NC State, New Hampshire, and North Carolina. NC State has the advantage. Girl dolls with them because it's American Girl Doll Day here in Piscataway. The first couple dozen young fans who came with their own American Girl doll got a free Rutgers gymnastics leotard to put on the doll, and I think some of those young ladies are putting the leotard on right now.
That's a great picture, great picture.
And cool to see these shots again, and great to see fans in the seats again, because you see the young girl
putting her leotard on.
Yeah, and pointing out the gymnast down there. This is where the future of gymnastics is, right there in the seats.
Yes, it is.
Now, we're talking about how the sport continues to build, and you continue to see more teams, more schools add gymnastics. We're going to see the first ever college gymnastics dual meet broadcast on national TV, on broadcast TV tomorrow, too, with Florida and Alabama on ABC. And so moments like that we may not get to see all of, and then big moments like we'll see tomorrow on ABC, I think great for the sport.
Right, it definitely is, and it's we're coming into the future. And back in the years when I was there, coaches were fighting this, and I said, what are you, nuts? You know, you don't want to fight it. This is good for you, and so it's gotten better every year.
They did not give us a Rutgers gymnastic leotard for our American Girl dolls. I will just mention that. We'll have to ask about that when we head out of here.
Yes.
Well, rotation number 3, Rutgers is going to head to the beam, and this has been Rutgers' strongest event over the last couple of years. 9 of the best 12 beam scores in Rutgers program history have come in the previous 2 seasons, and so a great vault score, 49 plus, their first 49 plus of the season, and then they had to count 2 falls on bars, so they're going to lean on their strongest events for a big score here.
Yes, Tasia's an excellent beam coach. And she competed at Rutgers, so she knows the background, so it was good.
And Tasia is Anastasia Hallbig, 4th-year assistant coach at Rutgers.
Yes.
And the Rutgers beam lineup starts with Gianna Ortiz, then Braden Batavio, Kayla Newman, Stephanie Zanella, Hannah Joyner, and Belle Huang. Joyner and Huang, nationally good beam workers.
Yes, yes.
New Hampshire is on vaults. And it looks like they just started us off. UNC will be on bars, and NC State will be on floor. And we get to see Gianna Ortiz at Rutgers for the first time, transfer from Kentucky, who made her debut at Florida with a 9.75 on beam.
She has very nice form. Very nice full turn, controlled. A little bit of balance, but finished her routine. Her dance combination is a requirement. Just a little balance checks. It's a front tuck, which is a D. A little bit low, could have been a little bit higher. And a dismount, which is a gainer full.
And she sticks it.
Yes, very good. That's what they needed. They needed a good start off. I'm sure she's a little bit happy with some of the balance checks and that, but still a nice routine to start off with.
So Rutgers opens this third rotation on positive footing.
And this is her dismount. Again, nice stick. And when the gymnast lands, they're supposed to bring their heels together. That's part of a deduction, which is an execution deduction. So they follow USA execution deduction, so they have to do that.
NC State here on floor, opening with Gabby Diaz. You may have heard the wolf howl to start off this routine.
Yes, every team has something to start so the athlete knows the music is coming.
Right. Should be the last pass for Diaz.
Very nice double tuck.
Roars from the NC State teammates for Diaz and roars from New Hampshire over on vault as well. They've got 2 scores in. Larissa Biet a 9.65. Lauren Diggin a 9.7, and we just saw Mariella Mealy go. A Rutgers rating on the score from Gianna Ortiz with Braden Batavio on deck. This will be her official debut, the first time she'll count in a Rutgers lineup. We saw her as an exhibition gymnast on bars a couple of minutes ago.
Well, we're waiting right here because they're having a judging conference, so they must be out of range type of thing. One judge gave something, one did not, so they're talking about it, which they're allowed to do.
And we saw a couple of the balance checks from Ortiz,
right.
So maybe you count one that another judge
right.
doesn't count.
Or she didn't connect her dance combination, which would have not given her the 10-0. So that's where, but you as a judge, you can decide what you want to do. You can say, I didn't give it, but I didn't take anything off.
Right.
So it's, and the head judge is the one that, but you're supposed to work together when you have a conference.
Because all the scores, as you may know this if you're watching at home, but if you're relatively new to gymnastics, all the scores that we read off are the average of the 2 scores. Each event, each apparatus has 2 judges at it, and they average those 2 scores to get the score that counts for the gymnast. And those have to be in sort of a certain range.
Yes.
Waiting on the score for Ortiz as Batavio starts.
Very solid series, Queen. And again, on beam as in floor, you have to have something forward and or sidewards and back, and you must have something backwards. Nice full turn. Okay, that's very hard combination. She did cat leap into a side aerial into her dismount. So she's getting a 10th for the cartwheel. For the cat leap into the side aerial, and then she has a dismount. So that's very hard. Very nice combination.
Well, after the 9.525 from Gianna Ortiz, Batavio with that second run there for Rutgers.
This again is their series. It's very strong and very, very well done. And this combination is very difficult. She's connecting it right into the dismount. And plus she had a stuck dismount, so it's very nice.
2 stuck dismounts so far for Rutgers on beam, and it'll be Kayla Newman up next. Got a chance to look around the rest of the floor. New Hampshire has 5 scores in on vaults, all of them 9.65 or better. Gave you the first couple. The latest to come in, Mariella Mealy 9.775. You see one there, that may be Gorgani, who's the anchor, and absolutely stuck it too.
Right, very nice vault. Very nice.
Yeah, it is Kylie Gorgani, and earned the hat for sure.
Yes.
So Mealy and Hannah Baddock before her a 9.775. Gracie Mowers a 9.8. Mowers had the great floor routine earlier that we saw. And we'll see what the score is for Gorgani there on vaults. Now we get a look at it right here.
Very nice vault, very nice. That's going to score very well.
Now we go to beam Rutgers' Kayla Newman here after Brady Matavio's 9.775.
Very good score. Nice front tuck into a beat jump. Very nice, nice height. Now she did a 2-foot back handspring to a layout, so she possibly is going to do another skill where she needs to change the, you can do a skill twice, but it has to be in different connections. So she must be doing this again somewhere else possibly. And a dismount, very nice routine, very clean. And
didn't see a balance check.
Nope.
I saw a bunch of stuck skills. That should be a high score for Kayla Newman.
Yes, it should be, because she had a nice front tuck and a beat jump together, so that was very well done.
And she earned that crown for sure.
Yes, she did.
We get the benefit of replay watching here on Big Ten Plus, and I think we're going to enjoy this one.
Right into a dismount, a stuck dismount, very nice. And that's what you want as a coach. You don't want to give away a tenth or two, ending up on your dismount, because you can lose 2 to 3 tenths sometimes if you're not careful.
We get to see Stephanie Zanella coming up next. That was who Newman was talking to. But we're waiting on Newman's score. I go back to what she just did 15 minutes ago or so. She had the fall on bars in 8.975. And another thing I know coaches preach a lot of is not only do you want to battle through it if you have a fall, but also you got to bounce back.
Right.
Because for Newman, we're going to see her. We see her here on beam, and we're going to see her on floor, and that's clearly what she was able to do. Great composure and bounce back.
Well, that's what I've always told the girls. You can't change the past. You know, so you got to go future. So leave it behind you and back in the gym and fix whatever went wrong.
Now here is Stephanie Zanella. This is her best event beam. Actually won an event title as a freshman on beam last year in a dual meet against Maryland, who had an outstanding season. And a 9.875, by the way, for Newman. That's a career high on beam.
Excellent, excellent. She had a very nice leap combination. Rutgers is very strong on beam, and they have a lot of competitors. They've got like over probably 15 or 16 girls that do beam, which is, now that's a triple series. Oh, that's a very difficult series, so she won't get the bonus connection, and she has a fall.
Waiting for the dismount for Zanella.
And again, that's a side aerial, all right, and the dismount. Otherwise, it's a very clean routine, except for the fall on his triple series. And again, you don't see a lot of gymnasts doing triple series. They'd rather just do the back handspring layout and be safe and be on. So when you're doing a triple, you're going to the next level.
And you're using the entire beam, as we saw Zanella do there.
Right. And again, this is a side aerial and to her dismount. Very nice stuck landing.
We'll wait to hear on Zanella. And Rutgers will have Hannah Joyner and Belle Huang after her. Let's check out some of the other teams. We go to NC State on floor. This is Lauren Rutherford going right now, with Emily Shepard and Karina Jordan up after her. So far for NC State on floor, a 9.775 for Gabby Diaz, a 9.65 for Madison Benson, Nicole Webb a 9.825, and after Rutherford, Emily Shepard, her best event floor, highest scoring event last year. Also head over to bars real quick, give you some of those scores for UNC. Led off by Jamie Shearer, a 9.7. And then Brianna Greenlow had a fall, an 8.175. But the Tar Heels able to bounce back, 9.7 from Julia Nowhere, and then Lali Dekanoidze, a 9.85. So Dekanoidze a 9.9 on vault, and now a 9.85 for her on bars as she goes all around again here. I'll give you one more score from New Hampshire on vault. Kylie Gorgani, we saw her vault, 9.875. That wraps things up for the Wildcats. Got the Wildcats and the Wolf Pack here at Rutgers, but New Hampshire Wildcats wrap up on vault with a 48.925. And now we get to enjoy Hannah Joyner on beam. Joyner, the one of two gymnasts in Rutgers history to earn a 9.95 on beam, tied for the program record.
She's a very clean and very pretty gymnast on beam.
You see it right there.
Very solid.
This is the event that she qualified for nationals on last year.
Yes, and you can see why. Very good, very nice.
Dismount for Joyner.
Okay, very nice routine, just a big hop at the end, but otherwise everything else was very, very clean. And again, she came back, you know, even though her teammate fell ahead of her, she was able to, you know, calm down, and very nice series, very beautiful. Nice high dismount, just a little bit of a hop.
High fives all around for Joyner. We get to see some of Emily Shepard's routine on floor. Rutherford before her, a 9.7. NC State was in the lead at the end of two rotations, and now they are poised to build on that.
Yes, they have very nice floor routines. Very nice. That was a very nice double salto pass. Okay, who's going here? Okay. Belle.
This is Belle Huang as Rutgers wraps up on beam.
Belle is a very beautiful gymnast. Very strong in this event. Very hard combination. She did a cat leap to a side aerial to a front aerial.
That was part of her routine last year too.
Yes.
That impeccable balance.
She's been outstanding on beam all of her career, even up through age group when she was in Maryland.
This has all the makings of another solid routine
Yes.
for Huang.
Yes.
And has the stick to boot as well.
Right. She could have been a little bit higher. You know, a little bit of height more, but still, it was a nice routine. Which is good, so they won't have to count the fall.
That's correct, because Joyner before her earned a 9.825, and Huang is in for a comparable score.
And again, because of that hard combination, they're going to be a little bit lenient when it comes to execution. And very nice stuck landing. And that's the last thing the judges see.
Now, Huang earned a 9.925 on this earlier in her career, one of the best scores in program history, and decided to come back this year for her 5th year at Rutgers, put off PA school, put off physician's assistant school for 1 year, and so she's going through all the interviews, but she wants to be here at Rutgers for one more season, and the numbers have certainly paid off for her.
Yeah, and she's also a judge.
Right, level 10 judge.
Right, so she judges a lot of meets, and I've judged with her, and she's very good at that. So it's another way to make a little money on the side.
Right. We go back to floor. Karina Jordan on the anchor for North Carolina State after Emily Shepard earned a 9.775. This is an exhibition gymnast for Rutgers, too. Now that angle, you get the benefit of seeing both gymnasts compete right there. We try to see as many routines as possible.
It's difficult when you have 4 teams going at once. But it's more interesting for the crowd because they've got a lot of action going on. So
Jordan Halcomb here for Rutgers. And in the background, that final pass from Karina Jordan for NC State.
She just had some trouble on her double salto pass. She fell, but again.
Halcomb, the first time we see her this season on beam for Rutgers.
Okay. Like I said, it's the beginning of the season, so you got to get the kinks out. What's good here is they're all together. It's break, so they can bond as a team really well. So that's another good thing about. They're not worried about studying exams.
That's exactly right.
All of the schools, same way.
We should have one more exhibition for Rutgers. Jacqueline Manifold. And looks like she'll be the last gymnast on this 3rd rotation. Give you some of the full scores. Waiting on one for NC State, so we'll get to that in a moment. Everything in for New Hampshire on vault. We told you earlier about the anchor score, Kylie Gorgani, 9.875, and so the Wildcats after 3 are at a 145.1 after a 48.925 on vaults. North Carolina is done on bars. Their highest scorer, their anchor Liz Colton, earns a 9.9. So 2nd straight rotation that the Tar Heels have seen a 9.9. That's a high score for them there, as they earn a 48.95 on bars to improve to 145.5725. It looks like, though, that NC State will have the advantage going into the 4th rotation. They're in front, and we're still waiting on the score from Karina Jordan. And meanwhile, you see Jackie Manifold here for Rutgers. Another one of the freshmen. She's from Albuquerque.
Very nice series. Again, a side area, which is a D. Gives her 1/10 bonus. Her leap combination. Very nice dismount, just with a little hop at the end.
And the first time we get to see Manifold here in Piscataway, former two-time state champ back home in New Mexico, and a good go of things for her, I think, on beam.
Yes, it was. Again, she does a back handspring of 1.5, just a little bit of a step up to the side.
That'll wrap things up for the third rotation for Rutgers. On the apparatus, they earn a 48.875, which is a boost of almost a full point for them compared to how they were on beam in the opener against Florida.
Right.
The highlights, 9.875 each for Kayla Newman and Belle Huang, 9.825 for Hannah Joyner. So it looks like everybody is done for the third rotation. I don't think we have any more exhibitions. Nobody moving, though. I look over at bars, and UNC is hanging out there. Maybe they've got one more to go.
I think UNH is getting ready to.
How about this? We'll step aside. Maybe one more exhibition over on bars. We'll step aside. We'll come back if we have one more to show you in this third rotation. But looks like we're getting ready for rotation number 4. We do know that NC State is in the lead after 3 here on Big Ten Plus. Back here in New Jersey, got one more routine to show you. This is Haley Merchant for NC State on floor, the alternate. We were waiting there because there was a conference on the score for Karina Jordan, who was the anchor. Ended up with a 9.05. So they'll end up dropping that score, and NC State still remains in the lead. And we get to see Merchant now.
She had a very nice opening pass of a double tuck. Little stumble on her ending pass, but otherwise a very nice routine.
Exactly what you can expect from
NC State.
Yeah, from NC State,
right.
From a top 25 signing class that Merchant was a headliner in, a Maryland State champ last year on floor. And that should wrap things up. Only had one exhibition listed for NC State, and that will wrap things up. So now we're done with rotation number 3, and now we get a chance to look at the scores, and you see NC State in their opener. Had to sit out last weekend, but no rust for them.
Yes, they're doing nice job. All of the teams are.
And some high 48s on all 3 rotations thus far for the Wolfpack. New Hampshire and Rutgers certainly seem to be on pace to boost their scores from what they did in their opener.
Yes.
Now North Carolina, you see the 47 on floor, but Some scores on vault and bars I think that they can be happy with, sort of consistent with their program record season opening team score from last week. So we'll step aside, we'll come back, and we'll get to rotation number 4. We'll preview that next here in Piscataway. A Saturday afternoon chock full of great routines here at Jersey Mike's Arena. Week number 2 of college gymnastics. It's a quad meet with Rutgers, New Hampshire, North Carolina, and NC State. Alongside the former Rutgers coach and current NCAA rules interpreter, Crystal Chalet-Norton, I'm Dom Savino. Crystal, we've seen some good scores. We've seen a couple of 9-9s from North Carolina, a 9-9 for New Hampshire, and for Rutgers, we see the Scarlet Knights poised to build off of their team score from the opening week, a quad at Florida, looking for one good rotation to close it out on floor.
And I think they can do it. And they struggled on bars, but they'll just go back in the gym and figure out how to, fix it for next week's meet. But they're very strong on floor, and they have a lot of depth on floor as well. So you're going to see some great routines.
And part of the thing, too, you've talked about it, how North Carolina and New Hampshire are in their first road meets. For Rutgers, this is their first time competing at home in front of fans since February of 2020. For NC State, this is their season opener. The goal is to establish some scores and for the teams in meet number 2 build off them a little bit, and I think we've seen that so far. Yes,
and again, it's only the second meet of the season. It's still young. So they have to, get their confidence, know where they have to get back into, like you said, fans in the stands, which we haven't had. So it's a learning period and a growth period, and they should get better each and every season, each and every meet that they have.
Well, of course, Rutgers closes on floor. We'll see NC State on vault, New Hampshire on bars, and North Carolina on beam. North Carolina with the advantage of 0.6 of a point on floor right now. A team that was ranked in the preseason top 25. Rutgers, meanwhile, a 192.075 last week. That was the team score. And I think we've seen with the 49.15 on vault and a nearly 1 point better on beam, we've seen the ability for Rutgers to build on that.
Yes, and hopefully they can have a very good floor set, which they are strong with.
Well, the Rutgers lineup on floor starts with Avery Balzer, then Kayla Newman, who had the big beam routine a couple of minutes ago, Emily Wood, then Emily Lease in the middle, and the captains Hannah Joyner and Belle Huang will wrap it up. We'll mention, by the way, this is something we've done across the sports here at Rutgers this year. We'll get to talk to a Rutgers gymnast afterwards on the broadcast. So when we're done with this final rotation, don't go anywhere. We'll chat with Belle Huang after this. And, of course, we always carry the post-meet ceremony, and we'll have that for you, too. So stick around and you'll be able to get the event champions and all of the final numbers you'll want. But for Rutgers, they open with Avery Balzer here on floor. Same music as last year, and trying to build off a 9.775 in the opener against Florida.
Very nice double tuck. College gymnastics really loves to show off on floor. It shows their personality. Nice ring jump to her jump leap combinations. Very nice combination. 1.5 to front leg.
I always say this. I love this too. You see the entire team doing the routine with Avery.
Yes. Every college does this. In fact, what has happened now, even in age group, the little kids start to do it as well because they see the college kids doing it, so they do it too.
One more pass.
A Rudy, which is a D, very nice.
And
Very
a great
nice
start.
Great start. That's what they needed. And then everybody can build on that. Well, the other outstanding thing is the new facility that they have to train, you know, that was built for them, and a lot of the new things have been great. Very nice double back, very high and opened up. And this is her second middle pass, which is very strong. And her third pass is a Rudy, which is a D, which is very nice. This should be a very good score.
Well, balls are mentioned too. This using the same music as last year. The routine may change a little bit, but certainly some comfortability there too.
Yeah, I usually, when I was coaching, I would suggest to the girl to keep the same routine 2 years in a row. Then if you wanted to change it, you could. But if they wanted to change, they could, but sometimes it struggled, and Louisa found out the hard way when she was on the team.
Looking at New Hampshire on beam, on bars, and a stick for Lauren Diggin to close out what looked like a nice routine.
Okay, very nice routine, very nice. She had a giant fall into it, so it's very clean and very well done. Very high and stuck. Very nice.
Diggin, a 2-year captain for them, and they had an opening 8.95 from Summer Simpkins, a Jersey native and a freshman, so they'll look to drop that, and Diggin should have a nice score. Avery Balzer 9.75 on floor. A great way to start. Now Kayla Newman, another sophomore.
Okay, double tuck, a little bit of steps, but she controlled it. Second double back, which is very hard to do. Elite combination pass. Very nice height on him. Just her last pass. Oh.
I tried to keep it on her feet.
Right.
Had to put the one hand down.
Right. They'll probably count that as a fall. She just didn't have enough rotation to finish it.
So we'll wait on the score from Kayla Newman with Emily Wood due up after her.
Her first two passes were very good. Her first double back was very high. That was a double pike, and then this is her double tuck, which is very high. It's very nice.
Well, Newman, the big story for her, the career high on beam, 9.875. Over to bars. New Hampshire has earned a couple of sticks. Haley Louie will wait on the score after that performance. Before her, 9.65 for Lauren Diggin.
Very high double back off of bars. Had a little bit of legs apart. Nice giant full into her dismount. Very nice. Just, she's going to get hit for the cowboy type tucking.
Meanwhile, Gabrielle Kistner there closing things out for NC State on vaults. Again, NC State in position after 3 to win with a 6/10 lead in the team score.
Yes.
And all, Kistner, you saw her with the fall there on the landing on the vault, but all 9.725s, 9.775s, and 9.8s on the vault. So it should be a middle range score there for the Wolfpack.
Yes.
We'll see if North Carolina can overtake them. They'd have to hit some big numbers on beam. And meanwhile, for Rutgers, Emily Wood gearing up for her floor routine. And we'll wait for the score to come in for Kayla Newman. This is Wood's specialty. She's only competed on floor in college, now a sophomore.
There's going to be a conference because the judges are out of range.
Meanwhile, Gia Graver goes to the bars now for the Wildcats. Back-to-back 9.65s.
Very nice dismount again. Again, same dismount as the last student athlete. She had a giant full into double tuck, but she had her legs together, so there would be no deductions.
And before her, Haley Louie 9.65. As we wait on Graver, Long Island native. That's NC State convening because they're all done. You see Kim Landris right in the middle, the fifth-year head coach. The final scores are in. That run from Kistner, a 9.15. The high score from the run for NC State from Shruti Anand, a 9.8 on vault. So the Wolfpack finished their season debut with a 195, 125. Again, a team pegged in the top 25 in the preseason poll, and not a bad place to start in at all. And now North Carolina on beam, Julia Noer. She's in the 4 spot right now for them, going all around. The freshman, a 9.8 and a 9.825 already today for her, and looking for a positive end to this beam routine.
Very nice jump.
Now we'll get you the score from her as we go back to floor with Emily Wood now ready to go. The third gymnast here for Rutgers.
Very nice pass. I'd say Rudy into a back layout, which is very nice. The same pass that Bell has. Very clean. Lead combinations, very nice. That's a front double, which is an E, which is very hard, very hard.
I think that routine tells you why Emily Wood has been in the Rutgers floor lineup since her freshman year.
Yes, very nice routine, very nice.
And the crown gets shared. Emily Wood, the latest to earn the stick crown.
Very nice.
Now before her, Kayla Newman earns a 9-0. Now for Wood here, this should be a nice score.
Very nice, yes. And this is her last pass, which is an E, which is very nice. She had a little step on the end, but very nice routine.
Nice performance from Emily Wood, who will have Emily Lease after her. Look over at beam. This is Liz Colton. We saw some of Julia Noer's run, and she's going to finish with a solid all-around score. The freshman a 9.875 on beam.
Another nice stuck landing, side aerial into a full.
Yeah, Liz Colton with some great beam work. It's been her highest scoring event in her career, and I've just said this about Wood. You can see why Colton has been so elite on beam. Now over to Barnes, New Hampshire, exhibition gymnast going here.
Very nice giant full into a Jaeger. Okay, Ginger, I mean. Overshoot, very nice.
And we go back to floor now. Emily Lease. Her first college floor routine was last week, and back in the lineup again today. Rutgers has added the sophomore to some more lineups. You saw her on beam 2 for the first time last weekend. Great height.
Very great height. Very hard skill as well. And she performed it excellent. Nice loop combination. Now she just did a front step out to a round off double back, and the very few gymnasts do that. I had several gymnasts that did it back in my era, and it's a very hard combination. And it's neat to see it come back.
There's been 2 excellent passes so far for Lease. One more.
And Rudy, very nice. So she had a D in every single one of her passes, and that's what, you know, the judges want to see. Very high level difficulty.
Now, this should be a massive score for the sophomore Lease.
Yes, it should.
Now, you heard Crystal say the high difficulty, and from what it looked like for us, stuck all 3.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Like I said, she had a D in every single pass.
A second look at all of them.
That was a full in back out, which is an E scale, which is she flew. And this is her front tuck through to her double, which is very difficult. And again, it's bonus. And her last pass, which was a Rudy, which was very well done.
Well, the middle of this Rutgers floor lineup is the Emily section. Emily Wood earned a 9.825, and Emily Lease will be there or maybe higher,
Yeah,
the way she did.
Yeah, she could.
Another exhibition gymnast here for New Hampshire on bars. Their final score is in. Final team score is in 193.625 for the Wildcats. So it's nearly a 1.5 points better than their opener against Towson.
And that's what you want to see as a coach. You want to see that you're getting better at each meet and learning from your mistakes, going back in the gym and training. That was a giant full again, and she again is into a double tuck. Little bit of step on the landing.
We go to floor now. Hannah Joyner, 9.85 for Emily Lease. That's a career high. For Wood, the 9.825 ties a career high. And now what can Joyner, the junior captain, do?
Nice double tuck. Front pull, front layout, very strong. Again, connective value for her routine. Her leap passes, which are in the ceiling.
Yeah, and we see that from her on vault too, the height that she's able to get, the power she generates.
She's huge.
One more pass. Bingo.
Bingo, yep, 1.5 front pike, very nice. Very nice routine.
Now, it feels like we say this a lot, but real darn good from Hannah Joyner.
Yep, she's the rock.
She's the only gymnast in Rutgers gymnastics history to earn a 9.9 plus on every event. Her career high is a 9.9 on floor, and now that's another great score here on this Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be a good score.
There's North Carolina on beam. It's an exhibition gymnast. The pass is from Joyner.
Very nice pike. Very nice. Passes were all very strong and very high. Is that what the judges want to see?
We'll wait on Joyner's score with her teammate and good friend Belle Huang coming up in the anchor spot. And again, I'll remind you, we'll chat with Belle after this is done. And of course, we'll carry the post-meet ceremony as well. Everybody's done, of course, with Rutgers wrapping up on floor. So NC State will win this with the 195-125. The 194 for UNC and the 193s for UNH. And Rutgers gets one more go with Belle Huang.
Again, beautiful front double. Perfect landing, those steps. Rudy into the layout, step out again, no movement, excellent, no deduction.
You may recognize this music too for Huang, used this last year, and you can see her familiarity with her floor routine.
Yes, you know, the second year after you know it more, you know what to do, so it's much better.
One more.
Another Rudy, very nice.
And the fifth-year captain, Belle Huang, puts the capstone on what was an outstanding rotation on floor for Rutgers.
Yes, very good.
Now, Hannah Joyner earned a 9.875, just shy of her career high. Now, Belle had a 9.9 on this, opened the season with a 9.9 on floor last week, and puts out another great showing.
Yes, very great showing.
Now, Rutgers will be able to drop the 9-0 from Newman. First, let's get a chance at these Wong passes.
Again, very nice. It's very hard skills that she does in her first pass. And she just floats this Rudy into the layout step out. And then she ends with another Rudy. She's a beautiful floor worker.
Now Rutgers will have 2 exhibition gymnasts. Should be Maya Jones and then Kieran Ross. Now waiting on the score for Huang. With Maya Jones waiting to go. Huang a 9.95.
Excellent.
And she delivers a career high. Wow, outstanding from Huang. And now Jones up in the first exhibition spot.
Very nice opening pass. A little bit of balance.
Now Jones, the freshman, some really fun sort of old-timey music here in this routine.
Yes. And it's good that she's getting experience. Very nice, Rudy.
One more for Jones.
Very nice. Very nice routine. Shows the depth that Rutgers has in their lineups.
That's exactly right. Umi Salim Beasley has said we're as far along as we've ever been at this point in the season, and we have as deep a team in all 4 events as we've ever had.
Yeah, and
she feels 10-15 deep on all 4 apparatuses.
And when she took over the program, there was not that number. And I always kept 23, 24, 25 girls, and she said, I'm going your route. So that's where you have the bodies and you have the, the competition among the athletes.
Now Kieran will also be due up after Jones. I want to go back to Belle Huang's run. Again, a 9.95 for Belle, a career high. She's now the 5th gymnast, let's put that, in Rutgers program history to earn a 9.95 or better on floor.
That's great. That's great. I mean, again, I think the program is, really growing. The facilities is outstanding now from where it's come from. So they have everything they need, and you need to do that if you're going to be in the Big Ten. You need to have the good facilities, the coaching staff, and I think that's what the new AD has done, which is outstanding. He's built some brand new buildings which hadn't been built in years.
Yeah, since this place opened, Jersey Mike's Arena.
Yes.
It's been nearly half a century when they opened up the APC, the Athletic Performance Center, which is just across the block here.
So he's done outstanding work.
Yeah. You see Kieran Ross here, another one who gets to benefit from Rutgers' brand new facilities across the street. And couldn't stand up that first pass.
No. Nice leap combinations. Oh, she's still struggling a little bit here on this floor routine. Nice jump, turn.
We talk about how the exhibition slots are a chance to gain experience and
plus show the coaching staff, you know, how you handle pressure.
right.
She had a little problem here, so she just has to go back in the gym and figure it out.
Well, that's the final exhibition gymnast for this fourth pass. You see Rutgers gathered there. Rutgers wraps this up with a 194.55, nearly 2.5 points better than their opening score against Florida. NC State earns the victory in this one. And Rutgers earns second place. Take a look. Rutgers beats out North Carolina and New Hampshire. A couple of 49s for the Scarlet Knights.
Yes.
Just had to count the two falls on bars.
Right, and that's a good 2 points that she. So this team can be a 196, 197. That's what you look at as a coach. You go back and say, okay, you know, we had mistakes, but you know, in this one event we can come up 2 more points. So.
NC State in their season opener comes out with a solid score too. The Wolfpack, the 195-125, and it's all high 48s. And for me, I think that says consistency across the board, right?
Yes. That's going to be a good score for them.
So what we'll do is we'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll have Belle Huang, Rutgers gymnast, on with us. We'll get to recap the 995 floor routine we just saw from her a couple of minutes ago. And, of course, we're going to carry the post-meet ceremony as well with the scores. All coming up next, so stick around here on Big Ten Plus.
In second place, from North Carolina, Lali Dekanoidze. And in first place, from North Carolina, Elizabeth Colton. The top 3 scores on the balance beam. In third place, in a 4-way tie for third, between Rutgers, North Carolina, and North Carolina State. For North Carolina State, Emily Shepard. For North Carolina, Julia Noah. And for Rutgers, Belle Huang and Kayla Newman. In second place on the beam, from North Carolina, Elizabeth Colton. And in first place on the beam, from New Hampshire, Alyssa Worthington. Now the top 3 scores for the floor exercises. In third place, in a 2-way tie, from New Hampshire, Grace Bowers. And from Rutgers, Emily Reese. In second place for the floor exercises, from Rutgers, Hannah Joyner. And in first place in the floor exercises, from Rutgers, Belle Huang. And now our top 3 scores in the And today's recipient of the Aaron Lynch Award for the most inspiring performance of the meet by a Rutgers gymnast has been awarded to Belle Law. Congratulations, Belle. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Rutgers University alma mater.
Are the other gymnasts gonna get up too? That's funny. Everybody gets up. It's the Rutgers national anthem. That's funny. The gymnasts like, whatever. Yeah, okay. Right. No, I know. I love all 4 teams swaying along to their the Rutgers national.
Fans, Rutgers Gymnastics will be back home on Friday, February 4th at 7 p.m. when they host Michigan in a dual meet right here in Jersey Mike's Arena. Be sure to wear red to the red out meet or get here early to get a free Rutgers flock t-shirt. That's Friday, February 4th at 7 p.m. Also, fans, we remind you that the Rutgers Gymnastics team will be signing autographs following today's meet on the North Concourse of Jersey Mike's Arena. We'll have team posters available, and as a reminder, everyone must be wearing a face mask while inside our athletic facilities. After the award ceremony, fans can proceed across the lobby to the North Concourse to line up for the autograph session. Thanks so much for coming out to Jersey Mike's Arena this afternoon.
Well, we're back here on Big Ten Plus to wrap things up at this Rutgers quad meet. Scarlet Knights hosting North Carolina, NC State, and New Hampshire. And I think something for everybody to be happy about today. You heard the event ceremony there for the 4 teams. North Carolina, New Hampshire, and Rutgers all earn event titles. And NC State wins the whole thing with a final score of 195-125. Back here in the broadcast booth with Crystal Chalet Norton, I'm Dom Savino, and you can see Belle Huang getting ready for the post-meet interview downstairs. Belle, Dom Savino, Crystal Chalet Norton up in the broadcast booth. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't score a 9.95 on floor, so take me through that first. I'm sure this will be a long answer, so I want to hear it. What went right there on floor?
I think it's just all the practice and all the training that I've put into it. I mean, my ultimate goal is to score a 10-0 on floor, and it's just important for me to stay calm and not get too excited in the midst of my routine, because when I land one pass well, I get super excited, but I have to like calm myself so that the next pass or the last pass goes the way I want it to as well.
Okay, it's me, Crystal. How do you think this performance did for the team?
I think we did pretty well. There are some ups, a lot of ups, a little bit of a few downs, but I mean, it's still early on in the season. We have a lot of time to fix what we need to and tweak the little details, and hopefully we will definitely be doing a lot better the rest of the season.
You know, Belle, we got a chance to talk to Umi during the week, and she talked about taking a step up from the quad meet at Florida. I mean, your Scarlet Knights added almost 2.5 points to your team score today as compared to what you did last weekend. How important is that, just to have that building block to now with this second meet to build off that with such a great score?
It's definitely a big jump. Also very big confidence booster. I mean, we've put all this hard work and training into it for preseason, and Florida, unfortunately, it just didn't go the way we wanted to. But I think this meet really was working towards more of what we usually do in practice, and hope to see the rest of the season go well.
Okay, and my question is, how does it feel to be back again for the 5th year?
Exciting.
Good. Good. Well, we love watching you perform.
Thanks.
Yeah, big scores for Belle Huang today. The 9.95 on floor. Tied for second now in program history, Belle, with that score. Congrats on the performance, and thanks for your time.
Thank you. Okay.
And
Bye-bye.
that'll do it here from Piscataway, and for the entirety of our Rutgers Big Ten Plus broadcast crew and Crystal Chalet Norton, I'm Dom Savino saying so long. Thanks for joining us here for this Rutgers quad meet, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.